You're too pure for this wicked world. Your data's uncorrupted, but does something skip inside you? That's what takes up time.
Hi there! Thanks for joining us for Hot Kitchen's last episode of 2009. It's pretty chilly where I am, and it makes me want to feed my sweeties something warm and comforting. So today's dish is inspired by flavors from around the world. So one of the key ingredients of this delicious braise is leeks. Begin by cutting off the top green part and the bottom root part and just slicing it into thin little circles. The leek is a nice mild onion that can be sautéed or eaten raw. Next, we're moving on to some garlic. Begin by smashing the garlic to loosen the skin. Peel the skin off to reveal the clove. A little twisting motion will also help to free up the skin. Cut off the root end. And discard that, and then slice these into nice long slivers. Then I'm going to take these over here. And the next thing is to sprinkle the lamb shoulder chops with a generous amount of curry. Really kind of cake it on there. And a slight amount of turmeric. And you want to flip it over and do it on the other side too. By seasoning up the meat at this point, you're going to allow the flavor to develop all the way. Next, add just a little tiny bit of olive oil to a nice hot sauté pan. Just a little tiny bit because the lamb shoulder chop has a lot of fat in it already. Put the chop into the hot oil. I'm just going to sear them off for a moment. This is when the spices are going to open up and bloom and develop their full flavor. This is also the time when the lamb is going to release some of its fat, or render the fat into the dish. So once some blood has come to the surface, you can go ahead and flip it over and sear the other side too. You can see that there's a little crust of spices formed on there, and you can smell the aroma becoming quite exquisite. So once the other side of the lamb has browned to match the first side, go ahead and take it out of the pan. However it will come, and add to that pan about a clove of minced up garlic and an entire diced parsnip. I recommend keeping the peel on for extra flavor and nutrition in the dish. Give it a little sauté. And once you smell that the parsnips are becoming very aromatic, then go ahead and add your leeks. Continue sautéing. And then you're going to want to let this cook until the leeks become translucent. Well, I can see that the leeks have developed a nice level of translucency, and we're starting to get a little flavor developing on the bottom of the pan. This is exactly the time when you'd want to add a little bit of chili flake. Okay, that's more than a little, but it's going to be really good. A couple ounces of red wine to deglaze the bottom of the pan. Remember to scrape while you're doing that. It's a really important step in a braise, is to get that flavor off the bottom of the pan and mixed into the wine. Let the wine cook out a little bit so that it's almost dry. And while you're waiting for the wine to cook out, Go ahead and zest an orange into the dish. All right, that's looking pretty good now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2/3 cup of red lentils. I'm gonna stir those into the mixture that I have in the pan so they get coated with all that flavor. I'm gonna build myself a little well to put the lamb chops back into. This particular cut of lamb is fantastic for braising because it has a bone in it, which adds flavor and thickness and body to the sauce, and enough connective tissue that it will break down in the braising process and become quite tender. Add a couple cups of water. And salt and pepper. Go easy on the salt and pepper right at first. You can add more later. Add a large handful of dried apricots. And work them into the liquid. They're going to reconstitute and add a nice sweetness to the dish. Add 1 bay leaf, squeeze it in there in between the lamb chops, a cinnamon stick, and some freshly grated allspice over the top. Bring this up to a boil, drop it down to a simmer, and keep a lid on it the whole time until the lentils are done. So when your lamb's about done, that's when you're going to want to start on the couscous. I'm going to show you how to make a little couscous pilaf. And you're going to begin by adding olive oil to a hot little saucepan. And then that slivered garlic that you made earlier, you're going to add that to the olive oil. And basically what you're going to do is just roast it at a low temperature in the olive oil for a few moments till it starts to brown. Once you've achieved a nice brown color, add your couscous. Briefly mix it. Get it nice and hot. And add water to it. You're going to want to use about a 1 part of Cous to 1.5 parts of water for this. Quickly add salt, a nice generous amount, and a little bit of Italian herb mix. So the lamb has been braising for about an hour now, and it's almost done. At this point, you're going to want to add a little bit of fresh mint. Save a little bit for putting on the top to garnish it. Go ahead, put the lid back on it, and simmer it for just a few moments. So when everything's done, it's time to plate. With the couscous, you want to make sure that you give it a good fluff with a little fork. This helps to ensure the texture tastes right. Once you have some nice fluffy couscous, you are clear to put it on your plates. I'm going to start by putting this in the middle of the plate. Then I'm going to scoop out the lamb out of the braise. It's so tender, it's falling off the bone. That's beautiful. And rest it atop the couscous. It's beautiful. The green of the mince, the red of the lentils. Decorate it with just a little bit more of the mint. And fish out the cinnamon stick and the bay leaf as you run across those. These are ready to go on the table. That smells absolutely heavenly. Can't wait for my sweetie to sit down and enjoy this. So this succulent lamb braise is delicious with a nice juicy red wine like a Zinfandel or a Pinot Noir, maybe a little mint apple jelly to go on the side. And thanks for watching our little show and telling all of your friends about us. We'll see you in 2010. Don't need this anymore. Where is my handsome dinner date?
Here I am.
Oh, hi. And you brought Thank you.
Hey. All right. You look wonderful. You're welcome. Wow, this looks delicious.
What are you gonna try first?
I don't know. It all looks wonderful. This is such a hot kitchen.
So thanks for joining me in my hot kitchen tonight. Have fun with your date night, and I'll see you next year. Night night.
Oh baby, you're too pure. You're too pure for this wicked world. Your data's uncorrupted, but does something skip inside you? That's what takes up time in your life. Add the sum of this life.
Pet the kitties.